For a long time, I struggled. My self-esteem was low. I often found myself walking alone, lost in my thoughts, trying to make sense of the world around me. The beach became my sanctuary, a place where I could be alone with my thoughts. But even there, the waves of doubt crashed over me, making it hard to see a way forward. I didn't believe in myself. Every time I looked in the mirror, I saw someone who wasn't good enough. I would sit alone on park benches, watching the world go by, feeling like an outsider in my own life. The weight of my insecurities was a constant burden, and I felt trapped in a cycle of self-doubt. I felt small and insignificant. The world seemed so vast, and I felt like a tiny speck within it. I wanted to change, to find a way to feel more connected and confident. I yearned for a sense of purpose, something that would make me feel like I mattered. I knew I deserved better. Deep down, I believed that there was more to life than feeling inadequate. I wanted to stand tall, to feel the strength within me, and to embrace the beauty of the world around me. I wanted to feel empowered and confident, to face challenges head-on, and to believe in my own worth. So, I decided to embark on a journey. I packed my backpack with the essentials and set out on a trail, determined to find myself along the way. This journey wasn't just about physical travel. It was about exploring the depths of my own mind and heart, a journey to boost my self-esteem. As I walked through nature, I felt a sense of peace and clarity. The beauty of the meadows and the serenity of the trails helped me to reconnect with myself. Each step I took was a step towards healing and self-discovery. I committed to 7 days of solitude, reflection, and growth. I brought along a journal to document my thoughts and experiences. Setting up camp each night, I found solace in the simplicity of my surroundings. The act of writing became a therapeutic release, allowing me to process my emotions and gain new insights. 7 days to transform my relationship with myself. I incorporated meditation and yoga into my daily routine, practices that help me to center myself and find inner peace. The stillness of the lake and the tranquility of the park provided the perfect backdrop for these moments of introspection. I felt a flicker of hope. Each sunrise brought with it a new beginning, a chance to start fresh. The beauty of the natural world reminded me that there was always hope, even in the darkest of times. I began to see the potential for change within myself. Could I really change in just 7 days? The question lingered in my mind, but I was determined to try. I knew that real transformation would take time, but these 7 days were a crucial first step. They were a commitment to myself, a promise to nurture my own growth. I was determined to try. Each morning, I laced up my shoes and set out on a new adventure. Climbing hills and pushing my physical limits became a metaphor for overcoming the obstacles in my mind. With each challenge I faced, I grew stronger and more resilient. I knew it wouldn't be easy. There were moments of struggle, times when I wanted to give up. But I kept going, driven by the desire to prove to myself that I was capable of more. The difficult paths I walked mirrored the internal battles I fought, and each victory, no matter how small, was a step towards self-acceptance. But I was ready to face the challenge. Reaching the top of each hill brought a sense of accomplishment and joy. The smile on my face after a tough workout was a testament to my growing confidence. I began to see myself in a new light, recognizing the strength and determination that had always been within me. I was ready to believe in myself again. As the days passed, I felt a shift within me. The seed of hope had taken root, and I was beginning to blossom. I stood with my arms raised, embracing the new dawn, ready to face the world with renewed confidence and self-belief. This journey was just the beginning, but it had already changed me in profound ways. The first day was the hardest. I remember waking up with a heavy heart, feeling the weight of the world on my shoulders. The thought of facing myself was daunting, almost unbearable. But I knew it was something I had to do. I had to confront the person I had been avoiding for so long. I had to face my biggest critic, myself, the person who knew all my flaws, all my mistakes, and all my regrets. It was a battle between who I was and who I wanted to be. I stood there feeling vulnerable and exposed, but also determined to make a change. I stood in front of the mirror. It wasn't just a piece of glass, it was a gateway to my soul. I saw the person I had become, and I knew I had to dig deeper to find the person I wanted to be. The reflection staring back at me was a mixture of pain and hope, fear and courage. I looked into my own eyes. They were windows to my past, present and future. I saw the fear, the doubt, the insecurity that had been holding me back for so long. But I also saw something else. I saw a flicker of determination, a spark of resilience that refused to be extinguished. I saw the fear, the doubt, the insecurity. They were like shadows lurking in the corners of my mind, always ready to pounce and drag me down. But I also saw a glimmer of strength, a spark of potential that was waiting to be unleashed. It was a small, fragile thing, but it was there, and it gave me hope. But I also saw a glimmer of strength, a spark of potential. It was like a tiny flame flickering in the darkness, a reminder that I was capable of more than I had ever imagined. I took a deep breath, feeling the air fill my lungs and the tension start to melt away. I knew this was the beginning of a new journey. I took a deep breath. It was a simple act, but it felt like a declaration of intent. I was ready to face my fears, to confront my doubts, and to embrace the person I was meant to be. I started to speak kindly to myself, to acknowledge my feelings, and to give myself the compassion I'd been denying for so long. I started to speak kindly to myself. I acknowledged my feelings. I told myself that it was okay to feel scared, to feel uncertain. I reminded myself that I was worthy of love and respect, not just from others, but from myself. It was a strange feeling at first, like trying to speak a new language. But I kept going, determined to make it a part of my daily routine. I reminded myself that I am worthy of love and respect. It felt strange at first, but I kept going. Each day I stood in front of the mirror and repeated those words, letting them sink into my mind and my heart. Slowly I started to believe them. I started to see myself in a new light, not as a collection of flaws and failures, but as a person with potential and worth. It felt strange at first, but I kept going. I knew that change wouldn't happen overnight, but I was committed to the process. I started to believe the words I was saying. They became a mantra, a source of strength that I could draw on whenever I felt weak or uncertain. And with each passing day, I felt a little bit stronger, a little bit more confident. I started to believe the words I was saying. They were no longer just empty phrases, but truths that I could hold on to. I began to see the person I wanted to be, not just in my mind, but in my reflection. It was a long and difficult journey, but it was worth it. I had embraced the mirror, and in doing so, I had embraced myself. On the second day, I discovered the power of positive affirmations. I wrote down affirmations on sticky notes. I placed them on my mirror, my desk, my refrigerator. Everywhere I looked, I saw messages of self-love and encouragement. I repeated these affirmations throughout the day. At first, it felt forced, but slowly, I started to internalize the messages. I began to believe in my own strength and resilience. I started to feel a shift in my energy. Day 3 was about facing my fears. It was a day I had been dreading since the beginning of this journey. The thought of confronting my deepest anxieties made my heart race and my palms sweat. But I knew that if I wanted to grow, I had to push myself beyond my limits. I challenged myself to do something that scared me. It wasn't just about the physical act, but the mental battle that came with it. The fear of the unknown, the fear of failure, and the fear of judgment all loomed large in my mind. But I reminded myself that growth only happens outside of our comfort zones, something I would normally avoid out of fear of failure or judgment. These fears had held me back for so long, keeping me from experiencing life to its fullest. I realized that by avoiding these challenges, I was missing out on opportunities to learn and grow. It was time to change that. It was a small step, but it felt huge. Each step forward was a victory over my inner doubts and insecurities. I could feel the weight of my fears lifting with every move I made. It was empowering to take control and face what had once seemed insurmountable. As I stepped out of my comfort zone, I felt a surge of adrenaline. The rush was exhilarating, and it reminded me of the thrill of being alive. It was a stark contrast to the numbness of staying within the confines of what was safe and familiar. This was living. I realized that fear is a natural part of growth. It's a sign that we're pushing our boundaries and expanding our horizons. Embracing fear rather than avoiding it can lead to some of the most rewarding experiences in life. It's a necessary companion on the journey to self-discovery. I learned that I am stronger than I think. Each challenge I faced revealed a new layer of resilience and determination within me. It was a reminder that we often underestimate our own capabilities. The strength to overcome obstacles is within all of us, waiting to be unleashed. And most importantly, I learned that it's okay to make mistakes. Each misstep was a lesson, a stepping stone on the path to growth. Embracing failure as a part of the process allowed me to move forward without the paralyzing fear of making errors. It was liberating to know that mistakes are not the end, but rather a beginning of new learning experiences. Section 5. Day 4. Gratitude unlocks joy. On day 4 I focused on gratitude. I took the time to appreciate the good things in my life. I wrote down all the things I was grateful for. My family, my friends, my health, my opportunities. As I reflected on my blessings, I felt a wave of warmth wash over me. Gratitude shifted my focus from what I lacked to what I had. It filled me with a sense of contentment and joy. Section 6, Day 5, Embracing Imperfections. Day 5 was about self-acceptance. I acknowledged my imperfections, I embraced my flaws, I realized that perfection is an illusion. It's our imperfections that make us unique and beautiful. I practiced self-compassion. I treated myself with the same kindness and understanding that I would offer a dear friend. I learned to forgive myself for my mistakes. I began to see my worthiness, regardless of my flaws. Section 7, Day 6, Kindness to myself and others. On day 6, I extended kindness to others. I performed acts of service, I offered words of encouragement, I practiced empathy and compassion. Giving back to others filled me with a sense of purpose. It reminded me that I am capable of making a difference in the world. It also helped me to see the good in others and appreciate the interconnectedness of life. Section 8, Day 7, The Journey Continues. On the final day, I reflected on my journey. I had come so far in just 7 days. I felt a newfound sense of self-worth and confidence. I realized that self-esteem is not a destination but a journey. I committed to continuing the practices that had served me well: self-care, positive self-talk, gratitude, and kindness. I knew that there would be challenges ahead, but I felt equipped to face them with courage and resilience. Section 9. A Newfound Strength. My journey to boost my self-esteem in 7 days was life-changing. It taught me the importance of self-love, self-acceptance, and self-care. It empowered me to step into my authentic self and embrace my worthiness. If I can do it, so can you. Believe in yourself. You are capable of amazing things. Start your journey today. Embrace the power within you. You are worthy of love, happiness, and success. Subscribe now to my channel for more life-changing content like